Are you gonna get that or what?
Yes.
We need to reopen negotiations.
I think what we ought to take away from this also is that this is not a surprise. Australia's been expecting this. In Britain, there have been a number of these small self-starter groups and lone wolf operations that have been wrapped up at their very early stages by the security services.
You're lying.
And of course, we've seen it recently in Canada with the murder in the Parliament building, or outside the Parliament building in Ottawa, and then just prior to that, the use of a vehicle to run into two soldiers, one of whom later died. This is something that Islamic State in particular has been calling for to happen. It has numerous followers inside Australia.
You lie!
Five Eyes is an intelligence sharing agreement, an intelligence alliance comprising United States, Canada, New Zealand, United Kingdom, and of course Australia. It's the global spy grid, if you will. And isn't it interesting that we've had all these events take place in the nations of the Five Eyes alliance thus far in this global spy grid? We stand to lose more of our freedoms from these events. That's the agenda here. And now it's Australia's turn. Simple as that.
The rules of engagement state you don't risk a breach if the hostage taker is willing to kill in retaliation. Things are not what they seem, Chris. You saw what they did.
Long before the hostage siege came to its violent end, the hostage taker
was a bit confused, and then it quickly became apparent that no, something was happening inside Lint Cafe. Now, our cameras were quick to set up, and obviously we're right next door. We've been bringing those pictures ever since. But as you rightly report, the police have quickly moved in to also take advantage of this spot. They've been coordinating their response to this incident from that level and all of the buildings surrounding. This place is completely surrounded by police. We won't go into too much detail about what they are doing, obviously. We won't go into too much detail about what they are doing, obviously. What they are doing, obviously. What they are doing, obviously. Something was happening inside Lint Cafe. We won't go into too much detail about what they are doing, obviously. We can only imagine what they are going through right now. We won't go into too much detail about what they are doing, obviously.
I'm so tired, I haven't slept a wink. I'm so tired, I haven't slept.
New video shows the horror his hostages endured. One woman crying as she held up an Islamic flag in the window, another trembling and then collapsing.
And that's
Katrina Dawson was the sister of a prominent barrister, Sandy Dawson, who has done some work for Channel 7, who...
a sister of one of our Channel 7 staff.
Sandy Dawson, who I know, and I have friends who know. She was a mother of 3 children. We're just finding that out this morning.
That's a mother of 3, a lawyer who was the wife of one of our colleagues at 7 Chris is one of the fatalities.
When staff became suspicious because he was strapped to his wheelchair wearing sunglasses.
Why was he wearing sunglasses?
Because first he's blind, second his eye was a bit up here and we wanted that other people doesn't look at him.
You're right, Nat.
The women insist they did not know he was dead.
Yeah, weekend at Bernie's. Finance used up. You can't do that with finance. And that's...
Katrina Dawson was the sister.
You're lying. And I know you're lying. I'm reading your eyes. The eyes can't lie. A quick lesson in lines. Example. If I ask you a question about something visual, like your favorite color, and your eyes go up and to the left, well, neurophysiology tells us that your eyes go in that direction because you're accessing the visual cortex. Therefore, you're telling the truth. If your eyes go up and right, then you're accessing the creative centers of the brain, and we know you're full of shit.
And that's...
Katrina Dawson was the sister of a prominent barrister, Sandy Dawson, who has done some work for Channel 7, who...
A sister of one of our Channel 7 staff.
Sandy Dawson, who I know, and I have friends who know. She was a mother of 3 children. We're just finding that out this morning.
That's a mother of 3, a lawyer who was the wife of one of our colleagues at 7 Chris is one of the fatalities.
You're lying. It's not just your eyes, Nebom, it's everything. If you cough, sneeze, cross your legs, scratch your ass, they're all telltale signs. You can't cheat.
Happening behind those marble walls, and you could be dealing with maybe up to 50 people inside, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate, Kylie. This is a very popular cafe in the middle of the city. You can see the umbrellas and the seating outside. It is a spectacular Sydney day right now, the start of school holidays for many. The city was buzzing this morning. And this is one of the go-to spots. Lindt chocolate, obviously one of the world's best brands, and it's a treat for many people to go there. The staff would number, as you say, at least 10. There are back rooms, kitchens and offices behind the service counters, and then in front of the service counters, just beside where those unfortunate people are standing with their hands in the air, there would be probably 10 tables, each able to sit 4 people. So there's 40 plus 10 staff. There's 50 people at a rough guess if the place was busy, and I'm assuming that on
We're crossing now to this coverage, of course, will continue, and here is Laurel Irving.
Because we're unclear what is actually happening, we are being evacuated, so what we want to do now is cross to our Melbourne newsroom. Laurel Irving is in our Melbourne newsroom now. Laurel?
Good morning, thanks Larry and Kylie. Yes, we pick up this 7 News special coverage of this unfolding crisis here in
Laurel,
Sydney.
can you hear us? We need to cross to you in Melbourne now. We're unclear of what is actually happening here in the Sydney newsroom because of the location, but we're having trouble getting through to Laurel.
We'll get to Laurel shortly. Yeah. Rizo, just on, you mentioned before, we haven't heard much from the police. In this set of circumstances, you wouldn't, Chris, would you expect to hear that much at this point? It's all operational and they wouldn't want us to know.
Larry, right now it'd be totally operational, and to be frank and to be not being in any way rude to the police, I don't think they would know right now what is happening inside. We'll be waiting for messages. That there will be translators working on that flag and to try and work out exactly what it says. But yeah, all right, unknown.
We've have our link now with Laurel Irving, and the coverage, of course, continues right here on 7. Laurel.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Kylie. And yes, 7 News will continue this special coverage of this unfolding crisis in Sydney, where the Lint Cafe in Sydney's Martin Place is currently the subject of what we believe is a terrorism activity. I'm joined in the studio by Nick Etchells. Nick, this is pretty much our worst case scenario, isn't it?
Look, this is something that authorities have feared for some time. We've been talking for years now about what possible targets would exist for terrorists in Australia. We do not know that this is a terrorist siege, but certainly there are some sinister signs there at Lent. This all unfolded about 10:15, 10 to 10. Now, if you're just joining us, we have what we believe may be a hostage situation, possibly a terrorist hostage situation in Martin Place in Sydney. The pictures you're seeing are coming from our Martin Place studios. They are being remotely controlled. The voices you're hearing are myself, Nick Etchells, and Laurel Irving. In Melbourne, the Channel 7 offices in Sydney have been evacuated by police. Their front windows face directly across to where the pictures you're seeing are coming from our Martin Place studios. They are being remotely controlled.
You lie!